Hello. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. Readings are valid for when you come to them, but in this series, for this week anyway, I'm going to use Bonefire Tarot by Gabby Angus West for the tarot. And there's the website there. I want to say it's schifferbooks.com. Yeah, schifferbooks.com. Feel free to freeze frame and check that out if you're interested. Oracle cards I'm using. You Are Clairvoyant Oracle cards by Belinda Grace. Illustrations by Elaine Marzin. On the back here, there's a website at the bottom, rockpoolpublishing.com.au, A as in apple, U as an umbrella. And last but not least, I use dice. I use a 20-sided dice to choose the major arcana. I use a 14-sided dice. It's a 21-sided dice. It's a special dice. And then I use a 14-sided dice for the minor arcana, and then I use a 4-sided dice to choose the element for the minor arcana. That does exclude the 0 for the major arcana, but I work with it. And where those dice came from, if I can, hopefully you can see that, mathartfun.com. If I can put my hand behind it, I think you can see it. And there's another one. I think this is where the bigger dice came, the 21-sided. Tom Anders. And there's a website there. I just can't seem to read it. But there's also this on the back. If you're one of those people that likes these things, go ahead and use that if you want to. All right. And I think with that, we're there. Of course, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email. jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James number 4. astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much for watching, and now on to your reading. Hello, Virgo. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Virgo? Oh, we got like 3 cards all at once, which is fine. Let's see what... It's a lot of messages all at once, but that's okay. As long as they're good messages, right? There's definitely stress in this situation, but I don't think it's going to be bad. Making a decision. There's something from the bottom here. Stress. Yeah, but can this... I keep seeing stress. I think the stress is from holding on to something that I feel like I have to hold on to. Because you are doing better. Whatever this situation is, you have made improvements. This is one of the reasons I use different decks, because first thing I noticed with this card is the sunrise. It's the Ace of Wands, but this is like the sunrise moment. This has already happened where, for some of you, it might be literally seeing a person in their actual light. Not the perceived light, not what they want people to see. In their actual light, could be good, could be bad, but you see the truth. So, you see somebody, like, I feel like you've seen them, and I feel like you didn't really want to, so you're seeing somebody in their actual true light. That seems to have already happened. This is something you've thought about. This is something where I'm seeing somebody for who they really are, and it's really kind of like germinated in your mind a few times. I don't know if that makes sense. It's been germinating in your mind because it's like a seed. You plant the seed and it grows, right? But it's almost like it feels a little bit more than that. It's like planting multiple seeds and kind of like I see them for who they really are, and now I'm starting to think about other parallels that are connected to them and how other things are playing out and how this works with that, and like now that I'm seeing what they really are and how they really do things, I'm understanding things in the past that I've had to deal with them, and I'm starting to see things a little bit more clearer, and like, you know what, that actually makes more sense why that worked out that way. And I feel like I want to say picking it apart, but in a positive way. Like, I don't think this is a bad thing, so I don't want to say that's a bad thing to pick it apart. I think it's a good thing. Kind of like I'm starting to see the nuances here of like, you know what, now that I see that, this is why this has been the way it's been for so long. And I'm seeing them as the Two of Pentacles with the Wheel of Fortune. Not so... The Wheel of Fortune that's mostly not good. Kind of like when they're involved, it's more than likely there's going to be a problem, and they're that one. I'm looking through this situation, and I don't seem to think I'm going to do anything with it at the moment. I'm just like, well, it's good to know. But I feel like there's more coming from this. There is a lot more coming from this. I'm seeing this, and I almost feel like there's other people around me who have been seeing this person for quite a while, and I'm starting to realize what they've been saying and what they actually have been meaning. Like, I haven't really over-invested in other people's opinions, but these are people who mean something to you. And it's kind of like, now I'm understanding why they feel the way they do. Now I'm understanding why they do what they do when it comes to this person. Now I'm getting it. I'm starting to see it. So it's kind of like, I'm just kind of sitting on this information like, all right, you're healing. This is one of those things when you start seeing people for who they really are. It's painful because sometimes it's like, I don't like seeing that person for who they actually are. I want them to be who I want. I want them to be better. Let's do that. I would love to see a better version. I want to believe in that old version that I thought, but I know it's not true, so I can't believe in a lie. The thing is, when you start seeing people for who they really are, it starts with one person, but you start like having a healthier outlook with other things too. When people, it's weird because when people start seeing people for who they really are, it usually kind of starts opening their eyes to other people's behavior and what other people are doing. It's kind of like, oh, it's kind of like I'm starting to see it, and I'm like, I'm not going to put up with that. Like, I don't put up with that from the other person anymore. I'm not going to put up with that over here either. And there's like an advancement. There's a healing here. And there's a lot more that's gonna come from this, but you're in a direction of prosperity. I just don't know if you see it that way. Because the more you see people for who they actually are, the stronger you become, the less people pull the wool over your eyes, quite frankly. Because I feel like that happens to a lot of us. We don't believe people can pull the wool over our eyes until we see it. But once we notice it, whatever that behavior was, we start recognizing it in other places. And it's like, well, if I'm not going to put up with that over there, I'm not going to put up with it over here, and I'm not going to let anybody new come in and start using that behavior with me. So you're doing a lot of healing. You got a lot of growing. You got a lot of prosperity that's coming due to this. I do see, like, there are people around you can talk to about this. When you talk to other people about this, I think might be the hard part. Because other people treat this person, or other people don't put up with that type of behavior, and they're going to tell you what they do when that behavior starts or how they handle it. And I feel like this is going to start changing your thought process a little bit about, like, I don't see you changing things on a dime, but I feel like you're going to start, like, moving people away from your life, moving people out of your, away from certain situations. It's almost like, I'm not, if I know a certain person's a problem, I'm going to try to keep away from it. Or if there's other people I don't think can defend themselves against that person, I feel like, ironically, you might insert yourself in those situations to defend people who don't see this person for who they really are. It may be ironic because it's not something you really want to do, but it's something that you just start to do without even thinking about it. It might be second nature. A lot of opportunity is coming in with this stress because you're upgrading your whole life with this. This is how your whole life is going to upgrade. A lot better things are going to come in. The quality of certain things in your life are going to change and upgrade to a better place, to a place where you want to be. It's almost like if you had friends or relatives and you don't like their attitude, or you don't like the way they treat people, or there's something like that. It's kind of like you've gone into this next level of, like, I'm seeing, like, more of who they really are, and I don't think that should be tolerated. And you start moving that energy away. When you move over that negative energy, it does feel like it's negative. You won't allow another negative energy to take its place. Only positive or something pleasurable or something that makes sense for the situation, something that's going to work hard like you do, will be allowed in. That's why your whole situation is going to evolve and go to the next level. the more you call out this energy too, there's something about calling out this energy. I don't know if it's subtle or not. It depends on you. Some of you may be very subtle with how you do it. Others of you may just be right to the point. It depends on how you run in life. A lot of different flavors of Virgo out there. But I do see you calling it out in your own way. Again, it could be very subtle. When this person gets called out, I get that they're going to kind of like, they're not going to like that. And they're going to be like, well, Virgo, I don't have time for you and your attitude. And it's kind of like they're trying to slingshot it back or aim it back at you like, oh no, Virgo, I'm not the problem. Actually, Virgo, you're the problem and you always have been. It's going to be one of those things. You know, it's like they try to mess with your head. And I feel like you're kind of, when that happens, I don't see it really shaking you. It's kind of like, yeah, I knew that was coming. It's kind of like, yep. They seem to be, they don't want anything to do with you, and they try to make it like that Virgo, I have no time for that Virgo. And you're like, yes, please don't have time for me. I don't need your time. I don't want your time. So it seems to be very, because I feel like it's subtle that you're making a point, but then they just seem to try to like aim it at you like you're the problem, and I just feel like you're not playing into it, and they're just exiting. I feel like you're going quiet with the situation, but you're not forgetting. This energy, whoever this energy is, they seem to be targeting somebody else, but they're watching you. I got the Wheel of Fortune with them, and I got the Five of Pentacles. It's not over. They're going to try to come back, but I feel like the more distance, the more emotionally separated you become, the easier it is for you to just not worry about it. They're going to keep trying to come back and get the better of you. That's weird. This is not a bad card, but it's just where it's placed. They are going to come back and try to get back in. They're going to try to manipulate. They're going to try to make you feel bad about it. So what they're saying don't do is interesting. Let's see what this is. We've got the Hierophant here with the Two of Wands and the Magician. The Magician, it might be reversed. I'm not really sure. Don't play into this person's game. Because I feel like this might be one of those things where you've geared yourself up and you're like, I'm going to stand up against this. I'm not going to allow this. You don't have to... People know what this person's like. Your strongest effect is just not putting up with it and not playing into it. People notice, people are watching, and people realize when you're just not willing to play the game, and you're just like, no, I'm just done with that person. I'm not letting it bother me. Be careful not to go on the offensive. I don't think a Virgo is doing that usually, but it depends on what's going on here. I don't know what this is, but they're saying by going on the offensive, it makes this a lot harder for you. It doesn't have to be. You're doing the right thing already. You're just not putting up with stuff. Sometimes people like this, who have toxic behaviors, they look for the triggers, and they'll go through the fight, and then they'll claim that it all went to their benefit anyway. They set it up in their advantage, well, in their brain, their advantage. I don't know. It's not worth the fight. It's not worth playing the game. I would just disconnect from them as much as you can. They're saying be careful. Don't go towards it. I think that's what they're saying. I think that's what this is saying. Don't go towards it. For some reason, some of you might feel like you need to. They're saying don't do that. Some of you might wonder, like I feel like some of you might think that you need to, and they're saying you don't. You've already made your impact. What they're saying to do is kind of keep a very casual look, a casual eye out on it. Keep a casual view. You know what I mean? It kind of like, you know, if you're up on the side of a hill and they're like down here in the field, you kind of notice where they are. You kind of notice who they're talking to. You don't need to know what their conversations are. You don't go over there and talk to them, but you kind of like, oh, they're over there. Okay. And you do what you're doing. You're like, where are they? Oh, they're over there. No. Okay. Yeah, I see them. And you just kind of like, yeah, they're fine. You're going to feel kind of stuck with this energy because I feel like the longer it goes, the less you really want to deal with it. But they're like, just keep a casual eye on it. A casual eye on it. Like you clearly don't want to clearly ignore it, but like you don't have to do anything about it. Just keep a casual eye on it. Other people already know what's going on here, by the way. So Ace of Fire comes out again. It's in your cards right here, but it also comes out on the dice, and it comes up with the Hanged Man being released because it's on its side and it's kind of turning that way. So I see it as being released. This is why I think they're saying don't go on the offensive with this, or don't feel like you need to. One of the two. I don't know if it might be like one of those things like I feel like I need to, or I don't know if it's want to or feel like I need to, something like that. Other people are watching. Somebody else, and they're a lot more brutal. This is a brutal energy, and very truthful. The balance is coming for this other person. I'm just watch how it goes. Keep a casual eye. As you keep a casual eye on it, you'll know where you need to go. You don't have to be in the middle of the fight if you don't want to. There does seem to be like an argument coming forward here. You don't have to be a part of it. I think that's why I don't have the card, but I'm feeling the energy like there's definitely an argument coming. You don't have to be in that argument if you don't want to. Like, I feel like that's might be like the vote of confidence of this reading. Like if this reading is really hitting with you, it's almost like, well, maybe you feel like, yeah, but don't I have to? Isn't it the right thing to do? Maybe not. Like I'm getting you don't have to be. It's not going to change the outcome. I think that's where we're going. It's not going to change the outcome. I don't see anybody being upset with you for not being a part of the argument. So if you don't want to be a part of that mess, you don't have to be. Something in this keeps making me feel like there might be a connection here where you feel like maybe you do. Take it with a grain of salt. I feel like this reading is about you don't. You really don't. If you don't want to, it's okay. It's not going to change the outcome. Nobody's going to be upset with you. It's okay. Are we there? Alright, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email. jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's james4astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.